If you're relying on guesswork with your calories, you don't have a fat loss plan. You're just hoping. And hope is a terrible strategy when it comes to losing body fat. And I know this because every week I speak to people that are grafting in the gym, eating clean, doing all the right things, and still going nowhere. And when I ask where their calories are, they haven't got a clue. And you can't manage what you don't measure. My name's Geoff, I'm an online fat loss and transformation coach, and I've helped hundreds of people get lean and stay lean without boring meal plans or the need for endless cardio. And one thing every client who got incredible results did in common, they stopped guessing and they started knowing their numbers with precision. So if you're grafting away in the gym and still not getting results, this changes today. By the end of this video, you're gonna walk away with your exact calorie target and you're gonna know exactly what to do with it. Real numbers so you can be meticulous with precision and get the results you want. Now here's the trouble. Most people have no idea how much they're actually eating. They feel like they're eating healthy. They feel like they're eating in a deficit. They feel like they're trying hard. They're eating clean. They're being good. None of that matters. Fat loss runs on facts and data, not feelings. Being good is subjective. It doesn't make a single bit of difference to the actual result. So let's talk about why guessing fails. I want you to picture running a business without doing any figures, without knowing what the expenses were, without knowing what the revenue was. It wouldn't work. I want you to imagine something you do in your everyday life, like meeting up with a friend. Can you imagine meeting up with a friend and trying to make plans? And then when you ask that friend where they want to go to eat, they go, I don't know. And when they say what day and what time, they go, I don't know. Cool, bro, see you there. Imagine booking a holiday and just touching down, not knowing where you're staying, not knowing how you're getting there. Might sound like a bit of a fun adventure to some of you, but I bet you've never done it. It's a bit of a shit idea. We plan these things out meticulously, just like you need to do with your fat loss. We have to lose the subjective and get objective.
I think I'm eating well. I've averaged 2,200 calories for the last 21 days. Oh, I barely eat. Well, my food diary says I've eaten 3,100 calories.
Get objective with your data, sack off the subjective. I want to massively simplify this and think of your body as 3 basic settings. Your maintenance, this is where your weight stays the same. A calorie deficit, which is where your weight is going to trend down. And then a calorie surplus above your maintenance, where your weight is going to trend up over time. That's it. I want you to forget now about clean eating or cheat meals or being good and any of this nonsense, and understand that this relies on data. And this is why eating healthy is not enough for you to lose fat. You can gain weight eating healthy food, and you can lose weight technically eating unhealthy food. Your calories determine the direction, and so we need to stay on top of these numbers. Now, food quality, of course, matters. It's going to determine your health, your hunger, your performance, and your adherence to these things. It's extremely important. I just want to simplify today, talk about the numbers. Now, let's talk about how to calculate your calories. There's many ways you can do this. You can use some very good formulas like Harris-Benedict. You can multiply your body weight by a certain amount. Now, I've made this even easier for you, and I've put a link in the description below to my 4-week tracker. This is actually going to calculate your calories in a deficit as well. It's going to save you all the hard work of removing calories from your maintenance calories straight into your deficit, and it's going to give you your protein target. So head to the description and download that, because I've done all the hard work for you. The most important thing from here is to get stuck in for a week and spend a week tracking this data so you're able to see what's moved. Are you actually in a calorie deficit? Is this more like maintenance? Are you being accurate with all the things that you need to track? How's your protein? Guess what? My tracker's got all these things in there as well, so you can log it as you go along. So go and download that tracker. Think about a calorie calculator as a start point, not the be all and end all. Now, something that's going to be extremely important is your protein target. And I've actually set the protein in that tracker on the higher end, and for good reason. Protein is the most satiating macronutrient. It keeps you fuller for longer. It's the macronutrient that helps you build and retain muscle mass. It's literally going to improve recovery, and more importantly, it's going to make dieting easier. And one of my biggest pieces of advice, especially in the early days, is focus on the calorie number and your protein target. And don't worry so much about where the carbs and fats fall, as long as they make up the balance. Over time, you're going to get better at this and you'll be able to perfect the macros. For now, calories, protein, worry about the rest later. Now let's talk about food quality and flexible dieting versus sloppy dieting. We want to make sure the majority of our diet comes from whole foods. The reason for this is we get so much more bang for our buck. Let me tell you a little story. One of my clients in a check-in last week had 60 grams of peanuts and a bag of pop chips as a snack in a fat loss phase. It was 450 calories. My lunch that day was 10 times the weight of his food for 100 calories less. I had 400 grams of chopped tomatoes, 150 grams of chicken breast, 2 courgettes and some carrots. I was full for hours. We need to think about food quality in terms of bang for our buck, micronutrients, and making life easier. Imagine having two tools for the same job. I want you to think about a shovel or a spoon. Which one are you going to choose to go dig a hole in the garden? The teaspoon or the shovel? Which one are you going to go choose to make a cup of tea with? The teaspoon or the shovel? They're essentially the same tool. You just pick the appropriate tool for the job. This one's a game changer. Another one to understand is how the little things add up. Oils, sauces, butters, sips of drinks, milk and sugars in teas and coffees, children's leftovers, just one bite of something. Imagine every single one of these. It might only be 20 or 30 or 40 calories, but imagine this every day, multiple times. Imagine how that stacks up over time. If you're gonna track your calories, track every single calorie and make sure everything is accounted for. Now let's talk about why weighing food matters. If you were ordering a carpet for your house, can you imagine estimating? You're probably going to end up with too little or too much. It's very unlikely you're going to end up with the perfect amount. Why would you think weighing your food is any different? We can't be estimating these things in the early days. And the longer you've done this for, the better you're going to get at it. And the more you're going to be able to estimate foods in the long run. It takes me seconds to weigh my food. I leave the food scales in the kitchen so it's friction free. To chuck some potatoes or rice or oats on the scales literally adds 3 or 4 seconds to the cooking time. It's negligible. Make sure you weigh your food so you can be accurate with the things you're logging. It's pointless logging your food if you're not going to be accurate with the data. Now this one's important, is track trends over time. Now make sure you look at weekly averages and not just dailies, because the scales fluctuate on a daily basis. It's what they do. I have never seen anyone's scale weight, whether they're in a maintenance phase, a gaining phase, or a fat loss phase, be completely linear. It just doesn't happen. You need to be able to track these trends over weeks. This is why the 4-week tracker in the description is so good, because you can put your averages in and it will give you your weekly average to see how things are dropping over time. Now let's talk about the actual deficit itself, because people have such unrealistic expectations when it comes to fat loss. I like to shoot for 1% of your body weight per week in terms of fat loss. So if you're 100 kilos, a kilo a week is going to be amazing. But if you're sitting at 60 or 70 kilos, half a kilo is going to be an absolutely spot on rate of fat loss. So make sure you're not too unrealistic with this and understand that consistency over time pays off. If you stack up enough of those weeks, you're going to see the result that you want. Ask yourself this: am I actually adhering to everything properly? Do I have a week of 100% of data, or are there any gaps missing? Has your weight genuinely stalled? And then more importantly, has it actually stalled for long enough? Because most people think their weight has stalled when it hasn't moved for 3 days. Give it 7 to 10 days before you decide to make an adjustment, and only then make an adjustment. Most people think they've hit a plateau when it's usually just one of 3 reasons. The tracking's inaccurate, their adherence is inconsistent, and they haven't given it enough time. Fat loss is not complicated. Most people are just so impatient and have the wrong strategy. Get those targets in the right place, hit your protein, execute for long enough, track things accurately, review the data, and only adjust when required. And if you head to the description in this video, you can download my 4-week tracker, which literally maps it all out for you and makes it as easy as possible, including your calorie number. You're welcome. Don't forget to drop a comment below, hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next week.